Hi there, Year 10. Hope everybody's okay. Everybody's keeping safe and well and doing all of the video lessons. So I've heard a little bit from about 4 of you, but the deadline for the collages of physical skills from the previous lesson, which was lesson 1, has been and gone. And also, the last lesson, the things that obviously we've covered in that one, I'm going to go through today. If you can't send me things, the other way you can show us what you've been doing is to show your mentor. So you should be going in for weekly mentor sessions. Please show them evidence of the work you've been doing for me, and they will then feed back to me. Keep it all in a folder, keep it all together, obviously keep it stuff in your fact book as well as possibly your exercise book that you've been using. So the first section is you should have come up with your own mnemonic, the 8 expressive skills. That's the part that you should have sent me from last week. What I want you to do now is pause this slide and then just test yourself on the 8. So write out your own mnemonic, try and identify the 8 skills, and then I want you to pick 2 and state how these are important to a dancer and how they can be improved for 2 of them. So pause the video and complete that task now. That is your quick revision recap test from last lesson. Good luck. Lesson 3. Lesson 3 this week, technical skills. So really lovely way, I've got a lovely way to remember these. So in total, by the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the 7 technical skills. You'll be able to understand what each one relates to, and then something that's a bit harder this week for you, and so it zhuzhes up the format we've been using. But you can have a go at answering an exam question. We're going to work through it together, and then there's an opportunity for you to write it out yourself at the end. So a really, really nice way of remembering technical skills is a mnemonic I've done for us. It's called Mr. Darts. So here's Mr. Darts. The M is movement in a stylistically accurate way. The R is relationship content, but that can only apply to your duo trio or if you've done a group piece in choreography. So you've got to watch out for that one because it's only if you're not asked on a solo performance. So if it's one of the set phrases like breathe, you obviously couldn't put in the relationship bit. D is for dynamic content, A is for action content, R rhythmic, T timing, and S spatial. Write that down. Draw out Mr. Darts. Pause it here if you need, and then move on when you've done that. So I want you to copy the next 7 slides down. We already know this, but it's just to recap, get it all down again, and embed it in your brain. So I'm not going to talk over the next 7 slides. I'm going to zhuzh through each one, but you need to press pause on them. You need to then write them down. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, slide 6, slide 7. So you should have written those down and what they mean. The pictures also give you a bit of a clue, so I love that one. Movement in a stylistically accurate way, and you can see the facial expressions and how they're all in different positions in the hip hop number. That's from Emancipation of Expressionism, which is one of the studies that we do. So that is a really good example of them moving in a stylistically accurate way. Okay, on to the hard bit. So the exam question will often appear, you get small questions in section A, and then you'll get some 6-mark questions in section B, and we're going to focus on one of them larger questions today. So this is the exam question. Explain how your use of technical skills contributed to the overall effectiveness of your performance of Breathe. So the first thing we do is we know it's a solo. So remember, we can't use the relationships part of technical skills. So if I'm in an exam, I would highlight there the word technical skills, and then I would highlight how the effectiveness is contributing to breathe. And then this is how I'll tackle it. So I will list my 7 technical skills first of all. I'm then going to use a grid in the next slide, and I'm going to talk about how you name it, you then explain it and link it back to the question, and then you can write it out into a full paragraph. So let's go through that together. So first of all, on my exam paper, actually at the top, and there's loads of my year 11s that do this, and I love it because it shows how they're thinking and working through how we've done it in class. So at the exam, I would write my little mnemonic out. So you can see it there at the top, Mr. Darts. I would then cross off the R for relationship content because we know this we're being asked on the solo performance, which is breathe. So I then know I've got 6 to play with. So I've listed the 6 into the grid where it says name it. I've then got to explain where it is that I've used it in breathe. Now you want to talk in the first person because it's about you. The exam question is asking you about your performance and how these skills have helped you in it. So I've gone through each of those skills, naming an example of where I've used it in breathe. So let's look at the first one. The movement in a stylistically accurate way. I've gone through obviously using the Mr. Darts in order to help my brain as well remember it. So a great place to talk about for stylistically accurate in breathe is when I'm opening my arms, expanding my torso to show that breathing action that we do. Like so. So I then need to state, to link it back to the question, how has it made my performance better? So I made it as expressive as I could, and I used my breath, sorry, that should say, so forget the E there, that should say breath, that action, and opened my mouth, which brought the movement to life for the audience. So that is the first example. That would get me 1 mark. My second mark for dynamic content. So dynamics is about the speed in which we do things. Do we do it harsh? Do we do it soft? Is it consistent? Is it staggered? This one is a great example. I did a sharp head turn on count 4 during the first phrase of breathe. So remember when we get to here on 3 and then we go bang on count 4. How did it make my performance more effective? Remember, that's the exam question. So I've put the changes of speed add to the excitement of my performance, and it helps to create diversity in the routine. So I've left action content free. Now remember, an action is one of the movements, one of the actions in breathe. So you need to choose one for yourself there. What action do you want to choose? And explain how you performing that well made the performance more effective. So that one's for you to do. Pause the slide here and just read through the last 3 examples I've given. And when you are ready, so what I'd love you to do, please, is copy that out. So copy the whole of that grid. So that goes into your head and you can remember my example in a broken down manner. Pause it there, get those done, and then move on. So the final slide for today, everybody, is to say, put all of that into a paragraph. So a 6-mark question, obviously I'm looking for 6 marks. So remember to name the skill, give an example of where you've used it, and then explain how it made the routine or the performance better, because that's the exam question. My laptop has frozen a little bit there, but I've just basically told you what to do. So once you've done the copied out my grid, have a go at doing your own without the grid. So just write out 6 paragraphs, naming a skill from breathe, to do with the six that you can use, technical skills. Give an example, try and do a different one to mine, and then try and explain it. You can use some of my ideas for the explanation, but try and have a go at your own examples from Breathe. I'm hoping you can remember Breathe, guys. You might want to go over that in your head or in your lounge before you attempt this question. So that's it. I've whizzed through, so hopefully it'll upload no problem. If I do them too long, they take about 24 hours to upload. So I hope you enjoyed it. Really focus on this one. I know it's harder, and it's harder on purpose because we need to start looking at some more exam questions. If you get stuck, you can email me, elmeek@johnfernley.org. And on a Tuesday, which is actually today, you can message me in the Teams group we've got in Microsoft Teams. Nobody has messaged me today, so it's been very lonely. My phone is here with it on, ready to ping if anybody contacts me. So again, if you're stuck, when this gets released on the Monday, you can message me on the Tuesday. Remember also to show everything that you're doing to your mentor, because I'm going to tell them to expect this 6-mark answer. So you need to take that with you to your next mental session. You should also have your picture collage of physical skills, your mnemonic for expressive skills, and you should have this 6-mark answer. Okay, guys. Okay, take care. Miss you all. Hope to see you soon.